Okay, so we're back, and for this part I'm going to be showing you some things you can do with your Colorless Blender. This pen should actually be called a color remover because that's what it does. It removes color. I first want to show you how you can take it. I took this image that I did earlier and I actually just added some ink to it right here coming out of the image. Now with your chisel tip, you can take and start pushing that ink back into the image. And that's what I'm doing. I'm actually pushing it here. Now, it's going to take it a little bit to dry. If you're in a hurry, or if it starts to move in places you don't want it to, hit it with your heat tool. I always have my heat tool when I'm working with these markers at home because I always make mistakes, and the best way to fix them is with my blender and my heat tool. I'm just going to lighten that right there. I'm going to hit it with my heat tool. And this was a big old spot I did, but I wanted to make sure that you could see it. I'm going to keep pushing that, and it's going to keep lightening that. And it's just really wet right now. But do you see it starting to disappear? Ow, it's burning my fingers. I'm going to keep pushing it. It's not interfering with my image that I've drawn at all. Now, what is interfering is the ink that I have underneath. Remember how I told you it would pick up? And here's what the back side of this is looking like. So you can see what that looks like. But that's how you fix mistakes. You just go in with your Colorless Blender, and then if I didn't have a heat tool handy, I would just let it dry. I'd work in a smaller piece at a time to see how it reacted, because sometimes these pens are so juicy that it will bleed into this image, and I can't stop it immediately with a heat tool. So you'll just want to color that, and then you just work till it's gone. And a bunch of the images that I've done and shown on my website, I've done this. I've had mistakes and I've colored them, and I bet you wouldn't, yeah, you'd probably be able to pick them out, but it might be hard. So let me turn my paper around and let's get back to this image. The first thing we're going to do, the most common things for a beginner, is something as easy as polka dots. I was trying this earlier, and these markers are so juicy that it's like you just set it down and you have ink coming out. And I'm not really, there's no rhyme or reason to what I'm doing right this second. I'm just dropping it in. And again, it's the same thing as working with your heat tool. If you want to speed up the process, hit it with your heat tool. And you can continue going over that area until all of the ink is removed if you like. And that's a light area that I just applied that to. So it's definitely not going to be as dramatic. If I go in on one of these darker areas, let's say we want to draw lines right here. Of course, I can't tell where I've drawn it. We'll just focus on this one. It's definitely darker with that darker ink. And until the ink dries, it will continue to get darker until it settles. So those are two things you can do with your Colorless Blender. You can use it to fix mistakes, push the ink back into the image, or just wash it away, kind of like a Tide to Go pen. And you can use it to make images on your image, whether they be dots, or stripes, or zigzags, or whatever you want. So there you go. Super easy project. I would love to see what you design, so share with me.